What's up, Broncos country? Welcome into another edition of Bronco Talk, where we talk Denver Broncos football. This is Jake bringing you all the hype and getting you ready for week 2 of the NFL season, where the Pittsburgh Steelers visit the Denver Broncos for our home opener. Now, in the home opener, traditionally the Broncos play very well, so I'm fully expecting a dub today. Broncos country will be in the house just rocking that thing till it falls down. Even though Russell Wilson's not playing, we're going to let him know just what we think about him. And every time Justin Fields doesn't complete a pass, we're going to be chanting incomplete. So he and Russell Wilson can know what we think about them. With that being said, I think the defense will thrive with that environment. Broncos country always shows up, and definitely in that first quarter of the season where the opponents haven't really had a chance to acclimate to the conditioning and the level that they need to be at to visit Mile High and win a game or be a spoiler or maybe a game that we overlook. But obviously Broncos country isn't overlooking this game, because from the time that the schedule came out, we've had that date circled on our calendar. It's unfortunate that the Broncos don't get to see Russell Wilson fail as the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, because we obviously had to bear all of his failures as a Broncos quarterback, and also he had a little bit of a success against us. So it's always hard to watch Russell Wilson play quarterback if you're a Broncos fan, in my opinion. But that being said, I fully expect, with the defense rolling and the crowd rocking the house, I think that the Broncos come out with a dub. The defense is going to be much more this season what we saw in the first half of the week 1's game than they were in the second half of week 1. And I attribute that to just the fact that it's week 1. We were in a raucous environment, and the offense kind of sputtered there in the second half, where maybe the time of possession wasn't swung too dominantly in one direction or the other, but the Seahawks offense was on the field in consecutive drives very often, and that just kind of wore the trade-off of our defense. But give us a couple of weeks. I know the next 2 weeks we're in Tampa and in New York, but this week with this crowd and season opener, a home opener for the Broncos, that defense is going to be stout. I know Vance Joseph is going to be scheming to make Justin Fields beat us. I don't think Najee Harris or Jaylen Warren will really get anything going. I see us stopping the run. Jaylen Warren was a fantasy darling, someone that could have had the potential to take over Najee as the starter maybe mid-season. There was a lot of speculation on how the snap count would go between the two of them. Najee, in my opinion, has the stranglehold on the starting job, and he's going to be playing superior over Jaylen Warren throughout the season. But as far as week 2 is concerned, I'm not too concerned with the run game from the Pittsburgh Steelers at all. Though I would say that the most rushing yards is probably going to come from Fields, only because he might break one here or there, but not a backbreaker. We know that Justin Fields likes to throw the seams and then allow the middle of the field to be unplayed. So you could pretty much just spy Alex Singleton and have Singleton pretty much just keep Justin Fields to a minimum on the ground, as well as Najee and Jaylen Warren, and let Riley Moss and Pastor Tan just run on the outside with the wide receivers, and that's pretty much. I mean, if I could draw up the scheme, I know Vance Joseph can. So we got our full faith in Vance Joseph to be able to do that. And I think that the defense will be just fine, allowing our offense to operate without crowd noise to disturb them. We're going to get the run game going. I see a big game for our run game. I honestly think Javonte Williams sees 100 yards and a score. And I think that in order to keep TJ Watt off of Bo Nix, we're going to see some screen game. We're going to see some quick option routes from the running backs, whether it be Jaleel McLaughlin or, from what we're seeing in the early reports, Tyler Beatty's going to be moved up from the practice squad today for today's game. So I could fully see Tyler Beatty playing a little bit into the passing game as well, just to slow up that pass rush. If we do that, those few simple things, just make sure we play defense on the outside, spy Justin Fields, and that we have the offense just really playing through the run game and the running backs in general, whether it be swing routes, screen routes, or option routes. And then I think that opens up over the top where you might see with Devon Bailey being out today, that could mean that Troy Franklin plays, and if he does, we could just have him try to go deep and see what happens. He's a speedster. He takes the top off the defense, and that'll keep the Pittsburgh Steelers defense honest, because obviously you can't just assume that we're going to go in and score points. That's not how the NFL works. Both teams get paid. Both teams intend to win. But it seems like the defensive scheme for the Broncos is pretty straightforward. And then if you just neutralize TJ Watt and believe in Bo Nix, then it's very likely that the Broncos have all the makings of what it takes to get the dub today. Fully stoked, fully hyped, ready to give you guys my final score prediction. If you want to see that final score prediction, tune into the video right about game time, right before we've got a 125 West Coast where I'm at, game time, 225 in Denver, 425 Eastern. Either way, wherever you're watching, tune in right before game time. I'll give you my final score prediction and get you hyped the way only I know how. Thank you, Broncos country, for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next vid.